What's going on, guys? Hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. So if you're looking at me like I'm crazy and you're asking me, how can I be having a fantastic day? The Nasdaq is down nearly 3%, the S&P down 1.9%, and the Dow is down 1.3%, right? So if you're having that kind of reaction and you're looking at me like I'm crazy, I urge you to watch till the very end of this video, right? Because I'm going to be talking about, first of all, the reasons for why the stock market is crashing and the crypto markets. Basically, I'll also be talking about mindset and also what is very important, right? Like what skills are very important to understand, like how to navigate through all these crashes, right? So if you do enjoy all this content, be sure to help me smash up the like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell button, right? So yeah, first of all, I think it's definitely partially because of Netflix. So you can see Netflix down 21.79% today. It lost about $45 billion of market cap just in one day. So can you imagine the sentiment shift that will be, right? But you can also see that this is not just a one-off event, right? You can see that from November, right? You can already see that it started selling off until today, and then it just plummeted, right? So you can see even before that it was down about 25%. So what does that show us? That shows us that investors were slowly repricing, right? Because at this point, right, everyone was still thinking that, oh, since we have lockdowns and all, Netflix can continue to grow their numbers like insane, right? That's why that's the only reason why they were priced at this kind of valuation in the first place, right? So at this point, I think they were about almost 300 to 350 billion dollar company, right? So yeah, first reason is definitely Netflix dropping just 22% in a day, right? So second reason is the Fed tightening, right? But you might be saying like, why is this Fed tightening even a debate anymore? Because you have known for the past 1 or 2 months that the Fed will be tightening, right? So now people are not sure that how much are the Fed going to be tightening. So they are actually pricing in more than basically the Fed are saying that they will do, right? So the Fed hasn't officially come out with a number, but you can see that a lot of big bank CEO, they are saying, oh, 7 times, 8 times, 9 times, something crazy like that, right? So that's the issue, right? The markets really don't know what to look for right now, and a lot of investors are very uncertain. So that's why the price volatility is insane, right? So if we take a look at the S&P 500 heat map, right? So, oh my God, Jesus, you can see that Amazon is down 6%, Tesla down 5%. Most of the stock market is just red right now, right? So you can see PayPal 5%, Microsoft down 1.85%. So surprisingly, Apple is holding up surprisingly well, right? So only down 1.28%, right? So you can see that the Netflix stock falling really affected the rest of the market, right? Because what's the difference? Like Amazon, nothing really changed for them. In fact, Netflix reporting like quite weak earnings is like maybe good for Amazon, because it's like Amazon's competition is really starting to hurt Netflix's moat and all, right? So other streaming services, right? But yeah, in general, when a big stock falls, right, the rest of the market gets pulled down with it, because that's a general gauge of like how the rest of the markets is doing, right, when it comes to earnings. So I think I urge you to really understand, right? Can you figure out what is the real valuation, like what is the value of Amazon stock, or what is the value of Facebook stock? Because if you can't answer this question, even if it drops 5.9%, so 6% in a day, and it drops another 10% tomorrow, you still won't truly know like what is the valuation. So if you say that, okay, I've done my valuation, done my DCF, and the fair value of Amazon is, let's say, 3,200, then today would present you with a great buying opportunity, right? But if you don't know how to value stocks, and if you don't know how to like find the fair value of things, right? So it's just down 6% to you. So at whatever price, when you look at it, if it's 3,005, you'll buy because it's Amazon. If it's 4,000, you buy because it's Amazon. And at the end of the day, the actual fair value, I'm just using a arbitrary number. So of course, this is not investment advice, right? Arbitrary number would be 3,200. So that is actual fair value. And when you get to 2,850, this is undervaluation. So in your opinion, of course, then you will continue buying until it's like 3,200 again. Then you think it's at fair value. Okay, I stop buying. I look for something else. So these are the skills needed, right? So if you if you need some of these skills, maybe I'll link it on the top right, right? So another thing that really affects the prices are obviously sentiment, right? Because you can see that in 2020, right, whatever the news was, bad news, good news, earnings miss or whatever, right, the stock still continue running because the sentiments were really good at that time, right? Because like after earnings, maybe they fall for one day and then they continue their rally. So now we can see that the opposite is happening. So even if they are putting out good earnings, like JP Morgan, their stock is down 10%. I'm sure when Facebook or Amazon puts out like even really great numbers, right, their stock won't instantly shoot up, right? Maybe it's more muted. Let's say if sentiment is better, their stock will be up 10%. But if sentiment is like now, it'll only be up 3% or 5%. So next, the crypto markets. Oh my god, it was holding up fairly well until the stock market basically opened, right, and it just tumbled, right? So Bitcoin today at 36,500, dropping below the 40,000 mark, right? So that was very important support. So what's the reason? So cryptocurrency markets were in turmoil on Friday as Russia eyed a ban on Bitcoin, while a sell-off in US equities to continue to roil the crypto space, right? So I think the Russia news itself did not really make the crypto prices fall, because I was looking at the Russia news when it came out, and I don't think, no offense, but I don't think Russia is that big of an influence of a country right now. I mean, they are big in oil and gas, but I don't know whether they are really that big in Bitcoin, right? Like, how many people have you heard in Russia using like Bitcoin, right? Maybe I'm just like not up to date with all the numbers. Maybe Russia is a big country. I have no idea. But at the same time, Bitcoin dived 10% to 38,900. So breaking below the important 40,000 level and touching 6-month lows, right? So I like how we're talking about like 6-month lows as if it's like a big deal, right? Oh no, 6-month lows. But it's a big deal because of the 40,000 level, right? Because honestly, 6-month lows are nothing, right? So if you've looked at the history of stock markets, you know that some stock markets have been sideways for like I don't know, 10 years or something like that, right? So they go on to talk about Ether and all. So yeah, I think more of the factor is basically this, right? When big equities sell off, crypto definitely sells off as well, right? So don't think like your crypto is a inflation hedge or it's like a non-correlated asset, right? So if you want a non-correlated asset, go look at gold. The price hardly moves, right? So yeah, crypto is definitely not a non-correlated asset, right? Because in general, when anything, basically the stock market sells off, right, investors will sell anything, right? Because some of them have to cover margin calls, or some of them need like liquid investments to like make switches or what, right? So you can see during March 2020, this was like a one-day crash to like 3,000 something, right? So 3,900, right? So you can see that in one day, Bitcoin actually went from 6,000 something to 3,900, right? It essentially lost 50% of its value, right? But you can see that the recovery after that, it was 20x, right, basically. So we can see that Bitcoin definitely has a higher, we call it beta, than the S&P 500. Yeah, which basically bottomed at 2,300 and went on to all-time high of about 4,500 or something like that, right? So we can see that clearly Bitcoin will outperform after, but when you're holding it, right, when everything sells off together, right, you can see that Bitcoin is also hit harder, right? Because when we look at this, yeah, it's only down 25%, right, compared to Bitcoin that was down 30. So it's down about 31% compared to Bitcoin that was down 50% in a day, right? So don't think that Bitcoin or any asset in general can protect you from big crash, right? Because actually the only assets that can protect investors from like huge crashes are actually bonds and cash, right? And those are things that we don't exactly want to hold right now, right? So the last part of this video is about mindset, right? So I want you to really understand and think about like how to learn and how to improve yourself, right? Because if you don't, basically your skill level will stay the same, right? And if your skill level stays the same, probably your income will stay the same, right? So you need to always like learn, and you need to always continue reading, continue learning however you like to learn, but learn applicable information, right? Like useful information. Don't go and learn like how to dress up a Barbie doll, right? Unless you're like a very good and you can make a YouTube channel out of it, then that is something else, right? But I think only one out of maybe 100,000 people can do that, right? So do look for things that are applicable. Don't just say I'm learning for learning's sake. I think that's a total waste of time, right? So yeah, if you have a growth mindset and you're constantly learning, today is just another day for you to learn more. What is this company doing? Is this company overvalued? So how do I really test out my thesis and all? And if you really learn how to think about equity values and how much is actually valued and all that, right? Days like this, you'll be incredibly happy because to you, maybe you can see that, oh, Amazon is now trading 12% undervalued, or I'm just making up arbitrary numbers, or Facebook is undervalued by 20% now. I think I want to buy the stock. So if you can change your mindset into seeing red and being happy rather than seeing green and being happy, right? I think you'll build incredible wealth in the long term, right? Because when the stock market is going up, right? So obviously the all famous Warren Buffett quote is, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful, right? So on a day like this, I can assure you Warren Buffett is buying stocks like crazy, while most investors on Facebook, retail investors, will all be like shitting their pants, right? Because they're like, oh my god, I'm going to lose all my money, right? So because they don't know what's the true value of Facebook. Is the true value of Facebook 500 or 200? Whatever quoted price it is today, that is what people are looking at, like if they don't understand how to value the stock. So yeah, that's about all I wanted to share today. If you did enjoy the video, do help me smash up the like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell button.